Hey! What are you doing?
No, nothing. I don't know, I have no idea, man. I'm sorry, Thomas. Ever since I came back from the tower,
You look a little stressed. Why don't you go home and relax? Here, I've got something for you.
Nothing? Thomas? Well, where do I begin on this one? David Cage is a man who has a passion for making games that play like interactive movies. His games are extremely linear and rely heavily on quick-time events for gameplay. They kinda feel like a film set where you have a camera crew following you around until you move the plot along. For example, in this particular scene right here, you have multiple perverts filming a young, attractive female character while she's doing things. Cage still follows the formula in his newer titles, basically creating his own niche genre, which is bittersweet for me because I love this style of games, but I'd also love to see a sequel to my one true love, Omicron: The Nomad Soul. It is still the best game I have played this year. I'm Dr. Sledgehammer, by the way, and today I want to have a second look at a game that I haven't touched for about 15 years. So grab yourself a mug of coffee and let's have another dive into one of David Cage's weird fever dreams. Our story takes place on a cold winter night in the toilet of a diner in New York City. Our protagonist Lucas Kane seems to be squeezing a rather large hot dog out of his buns while channeling what appears to be Satan himself. Lucas suddenly stands up and approaches his prey after it just finished taking a fresh piss. He stabs the man with a knife 3 times near the heart.
Oh yeah.
Kane regains his consciousness and simply cannot believe what he sees in front of him. Yes, buddy, you killed the man. Despite all the evidence in front of him, Kane is convinced that he's innocent, so he scrambles up and decides that he wants to make a run for it, so he can find out what really happened to him. First things first, gotta get rid of this nasty evidence. Eat shit, loser. Come on, move! It's not moving, damn it! What's he doing? Oh, come on, now he's putting it back. Look, I'm doing exactly what it tells me to do and it's not happening. What a stupid hipster. Reads Shakespeare but never learned how to mop a floor. Do you know what this reminds me of? Games like Penumbra and Amnesia. Except there, the grabbing mechanics are actually good. Okay, now all of a sudden he's wiping the blood away. If you get the chance, get yourself a PlayStation 4 version. Consoles are superior for games like this. Well, I wiped the blood away. What now?
Are you injured, sir? Oh my God.
And that's how my story ends.
See, the plot in the game moves in 4 dimensions. There's an in-game clock that is just ticking away, and when time's up, old Martin over here is gonna go to the toilet because he needs to piss away. Sweet Mama Kate's fine $1.50 filter coffee. Anyway, I got rid of the weapon, cleaned the floor, covered my wounds, and took a piss.
Oh yeah.
Now the fastest route outside is to go from the back door, but you will draw immediate suspicion upon yourself because you didn't pay your tab yet. So it's best to go from the front door. On the way to the front door, you may pay your tab, talk to some of the patrons, get rid of some of the evidence that can be used against you. And you can straight up go and confess to old fucking Martin over here that you just killed Rick fucking Moranis after taking a shit in the toilet. Who will of course remember this later on in the game as he tells the lead detectives of the case exactly what you told him. The first 10 minutes of the game are some of the most exciting 10 minutes in any game I have ever played. You're confused, you're afraid, you're cautious, and you're curious at the same time. Every action you take will affect the rest of the game. And you know what makes the whole thing even cooler? Both lead detectives are playable characters. Meet Carla Valenti and Tyler Miles, 2 veteran detectives who have been assigned to the case. These 2 are basically Lucas Kane's opponents, and depending on how you play this, you may either choose to turn them into complete buffoons similar to Jesse and James in Pokemon, or you may have them do a proper investigation to the best of your abilities. You know, kinda like playing chess with yourself. Except you do not know 100% of the time where Lucas is hiding evidence, making it a little bit more tricky, especially when you're on a time limit. It is your choice really, just make sure to watch their sanity meters, because when it depletes to 0 they will just straight up rage quit on you. Regardless of how you choose to play Lucas and the detectives, the plot will continue as long as you do not fuck up too much. glad you could make it on such short notice.
No problem, brother. How can I help you?
Thomas, I have killed a man. With this hammer.
What? Why would you do that?
I saw him with all the rips in his jeans, and I couldn't fathom how anybody would pay actual money to wear these. So I confronted him, and one thing led to the next, and...
Can we eat him?
What?
Well, he's already dead.
What? Oh, no! No. One of the most challenging aspects of the game is watching a normal conversation take place between different characters, because you have to participate in that very conversation seemingly out of nowhere by selecting one of given choices. The choices are really vague and often confusing, but you have to quickly understand what each of them means so you can get the best possible outcome. Otherwise your conversation will be really short-lived. Here we see old Martin already warning Detective Valenti to take it easy on sweet Mama Kate. Should you start putting her under pressure during your investigation with choices like insist, she will start breaking down and lead the conversation to an end. That will leave you, the player, with less insight on what really happened, so you want to drag out as much information out of her as you can. So choose wisely. Another annoying aspect of the game is when you add the Simon Says minigame to the conversation, especially when you play on PC, because you're chilling and enjoying the lore of the game and suddenly you're on battle station. During this segment, Lucas sees demons or some shit that make him go apeshit while being interrogated. You are interrupted during the conversation by QuickTime events. Should you succeed, the detective in charge will get a little bit closer to the truth, which is again a fun chess game with yourself.
Yes!
Of course, it's not all bad. If you're smart enough with your choice of words and you do what Simon says, the game will recognize you as a top G and reward you accordingly. Just do as Simon says. Simon says, fuck Tiffany. Yes, fuck her. Yeah! The game will of course give you many more opportunities to test your skills. It's quite fun actually. Don't you just love it how a slender woman can beat up a well-trained guy who has over 20 kilograms on her? And that is basically the entire gameplay. You interact with objects in the area, you solve puzzles, you have conversation, and you do as Simon Says. Simon Says basically replaces movement and jumping mechanics for action scenes, and you will be seeing a lot of crazy stuff going on in the game, as Lucas isn't exactly what he seems. I mean, the motherfucker reads Shakespeare for leisure. Who does that?
I like this.
It does seem like a fun, fresh idea to replace platformer action from other games with a simple reaction test. It's not really that hard and it does forgive you a lot of fuck-ups. If you miss one or two commands, the game will often just let it slide. What is important is that you hit as many marks as possible. What really waters the experience down for me is the fact that you're usually supposed to sit down, chill, and enjoy cutscenes in a video game. Here, on the other hand, the main game mechanic interrupts me from enjoying cutscenes that were copied straight out of a Wachowski movie. The storytelling in this game is really genius. You start out in a small toilet in a diner somewhere in New York, and you watch the story unfold around you. But the gameplay here is a two-edged sword, which is why I'm gonna give the game a 7.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed playing. Why do I hear boss music? No! Oh, fuck! Come on, you stupid fuck! What you looking at, fuckface? What, you got a problem, fuckface? Hey, by the way, do I know you? Yeah, you. Did you ever leave? What?
He's asking you if you ever left the tower. Why are you here?
What do you mean I escaped? No, we let you go. By the way, it's 8:30. There's work to do, isn't there?
You still have work to do.
You fucking bitch.
Bitch.
You cunt.
Rotten muffin.
You coward.
Spoiled milk.
You fucking diva.
Foul egg.
You third-rate reviewer.
Would you stop it?
See this motherfucker right there? It's fucking November, it's freezing outside, and his ankles are showing. And what's worse is he's not even wearing any socks. Get this motherfucker. Go ahead, eat him.